Hi, I'm Scott Brown with Scott Brown & Associates, and I'm board certified in divorce and family law. Today, I'm going to talk to you about a situation that may apply to you, and that's a situation in which you and your spouse may own a business together. If you and your spouse own a business together, some questions may pop up, such as, do y'all have legal documents that show that it is in fact a legal separate entity, such as, is it a corporation? Is it an LLC? Or is it just doing business as, or a DBA as we call it? Those legal entities, they do have certain ramifications, especially if shares are involved. For example, in most situations, it doesn't happen in every case, but in a lot of situations, if a husband and wife own a business, they may own shares 50% to the husband, 50% to the wife. Well, in a divorce context, those shares have to be divided. Usually one spouse will be awarded the business. Not all the time. Sometimes the business has to be liquidated and sold. But in certain situations, one spouse will be awarded the business, but that means that the other spouse, their shares will have to be bought out. So that's an important thing to remember as you're going through the divorce process. But also you want to do certain things to protect yourself as it relates to this business. You want to make sure that you make copies of all the financial documents, because one of the things that's common in these kind of divorces is doing a business valuation, where we basically evaluate what is the business worth, especially a business that was created during the marriage, because that business has a value, and it's almost like having a house that has equity in it. It has a certain value, and so the spouse that's not receiving the business has shares, and those shares are worth money. And so you want to make sure that you make copies of financials, tax returns, bank statements, profit and loss statements, all those kind of financial documents you want to have copies of. Now, your spouse is also going to need copies of those too. It's just part of the divorce process. But we want everything to be above board. We want to see what the financial numbers are. We want to see how much cash is flowing into the business, what the overhead is, what the gross revenues are, those kind of things, so we can put a proper value on the business and divide it accordingly. So unfortunately, sometimes husbands and wives, they'll start trying to slash the worth of the business. If you do that, the judge could actually punish you for doing that, for harming the community value of the estate. So, certainly don't do that. The business is what it's worth. So let the numbers speak for themselves. But certainly get your hands on those financial documents, bring it to an attorney and let the business valuation process begin. But don't ever think that because you have a business that it's not worth anything, or that if you have a business that if you were to leave, it was necessarily not going to be worth anything because you're not in it anymore. It will may have a worth and a value to it, and that's the whole process of the business valuation process. So when you have a situation like that, come talk to experienced attorneys, and that's what we do here at Scott Brown & Associates. We handle these type of divorces, high value asset divorces, and divorces involving businesses and so forth. So come talk to us. We'll be happy to speak with you.